Oh man, it's fight week. You got Shakur Stevenson, WBO champ. Oscar Valdez, WBC champ. Ring Magazine belt on the line. First time since 2008. We're going to get into that right after this. What's good, A-Side family? It's your boy Truth. That's short for Truth Over Narrative. Hey man, just like I said earlier before the commercial break, we got a good one this week, man. We got Shakur Stevenson, 17-0, 9 knockouts versus Oscar Valdez, 30-0, 23 stoppages. Oscar Valdez, the WBC junior lightweight champion. Shakur Stevenson, WBO junior lightweight champion. They put in the Ring Magazine in it. It's 1 versus 2, you know. So it's a lot of things. There's a couple things to talk about in this fight, man. I'm really excited. April 30th, you know, it's going down. Vegas. The stage is set. You got Shakur. Obviously, he was a two-division champion. He was a champion at 26. Now he's a champion at 30. Same thing for Oscar Valdez. I mean, I don't know, man. I just think this is one of those fights, man. And this could mess around and be. I don't want to say we can get fight of the year, but I think we might could get performance of the year. Before I dive too deep into that, man, let's kind of get into it a little bit, man. So you got Shakur Stevenson. He's coming off a 10-round stoppage of Jamel Herring. I mean, that fight, man, he boxed well. He came forward, threw punches and combinations, beautiful defense. You know, the Shakur Stevenson that we know and love. You know what I mean? Then, you know, you got Oscar Valdez. He's coming off of a unanimous decision over Robson Conceição. A lot of people, a lot of fans, a lot of boxing public, you know, a lot of us thought that that Robson Conceição edged that out. You know what I mean? Oscar Valdez, you know, obviously coming off the PED, testing positive for phentermine. That was really big going into this fight. I'm surprised, you know, still to this day, I'm surprised they let him fight. But, you know, it is what it is. So we skip past that. But, I mean, Oscar Valdez just didn't look. He wasn't in, I mean, coming off the Miguel Berchelt win, the Miguel Berchelt stoppage, which was one of the knockouts of the year in 2021. I guess, you know, Oscar Valdez just had an underwhelming performance. Wasn't able to cut off the ring much. Was definitely being hit with a lot of punches, a lot of defensive laps, you know, but obviously, you know, the judges saw something different. It was a unanimous decision, so we're not going to dive too deep into that. But what I will say is, you know, it just wasn't a very good last performance. But then again, Shakur Stevenson, before the stoppage of Jamel Herring, we were also saying the same thing. Oh man, he looks bad in this Nakathilia fight. You know, people were, you know, calling him a boring fighter. But then again, you see how Nakathilia just kind of made a mess of Miguel Berchelt. So then obviously that win ages much better because, you know, Shakur was able to go in there and kind of get out of there unscathed without getting touched up by that guy. And we've seen what he just did to Berchelt. Either way, you know, as we get back into the Valdez-Stevenson fight, I think that in order for Oscar Valdez to win, you know, I think the first thing that he kind of got to do is he got to get inside. You know, Shakur likes to control that distance. He's a great fighter at mid-range. And Oscar Valdez has to get inside. He's a shorter fighter, shorter arms, shorter reach. He has to get inside on Shakur Stevenson. If he tries to make this a boxing match, there's no way he's going to come out with a win. He has to get inside on Shakur Stevenson. And I think that's going to be a key. I think the second key for Oscar Valdez is he has to establish a body attack, right? We haven't seen somebody, quote unquote, take Shakur in the deep waters. We haven't seen somebody even be able to land enough to even try to establish a body attack. So again, if he's able to get inside, I think Oscar Valdez needs to establish a body attack so that possibly in the later rounds, you know, he could slow Shakur down, close distance faster, maybe be able to cut off the ring, which we haven't seen Oscar Valdez do well in the past, but, you know, new fight, new opportunity, right? So I think he has to close the distance. He has to establish a body attack, and he got to make this fight messy, man. This cannot be a boxing match, right? Obviously, we're going into a boxing match, but Shakur, he can't be boxing, man. He can't come in here trying to box, trying to, you know, do things like that. It's not going to work for him. Oscar got to get in there. He got to make it dirty. He got to stay on the inside. He got to establish a body attack. He got to cut the ring off. He got to get Shakur against the ropes, and that's how you're going to come to the victory. You know what I'm saying? I think if he don't do any of those things, it's not going to pan out well for Oscar Valdez. Shakur Stevenson, his keys to victory. I think that Shakur got to control the distance like he always does. I mean, like I said, Shakur Stevenson, great mid-range fighter, great at controlling the distance, great at, giving fighters the illusion that he's closer than he is. And oddly enough, I mean, not to get too deep into it, but one thing about Shakur Stevenson, that reminds me of Canelo Alvarez is his lead foot deception, right? So if you watch Shakur Stevenson and watch Canelo Alvarez, they both operate where when they're coming forward, they stick that lead foot out a little further out than it should be, or they'll stick their lead foot out, but they won't be on par with their lead foot, so they'll be back a little bit. So what it does to his opponent, if that opponent, his lead foot get close to your lead foot, then in his mind, he's in range. But truly, you're not in range. And then obviously, it leaves you open for counter shots with Shakur Stevenson, the same that it does with Canelo Alvarez, right? That's just a small little tidbit that I'll throw out there. Shakur Stevenson, again, he needs to stay off the ropes. He's good at controlling the distance. Sometimes, Shakur kind of finds himself out of position. Sometimes he may be up against the ropes, and that's not something that we want to do against Oscar Valdez, right? You don't want to be up against the ropes. You don't want to let Oscar Valdez throw that strong left hook, right? Because he definitely could put you down with it. I think he could put anybody down at 130 with that left hook. And at the end of the day, I think the most important thing for Shakur Stevenson to pull out a win is he has to effectively counterpunch Oscar Valdez, right? Oscar Valdez, as I just stated, he likes to come in with that left hook. He likes to come in with some looping punches. Shakur has to make sure that he's effectively countering Oscar Valdez so that when Valdez is missing and he's making him pay, now as the rounds get later and later and later, now Valdez is weary. Now Valdez doesn't necessarily want to throw these wild punches. Now, where he would snap that left hook, now he's hesitating, right? And I think that's the key for Shakur to establish the fact that, hey, when you miss, I'm going to make you pay, Oscar. Hey, just quite simply, you asked me my fight prediction. I'm saying Shakur in 10 by stoppage, right? And you saying, well, I don't understand how Shakur can do that, but I just think the fact of the matter is he will control the distance. He has the longer arms. I think that he's going to frustrate Oscar Valdez in such a way that he's going to have Oscar Valdez just really not wanting to throw punches. I don't think that he's going to knock Oscar Valdez out, but I do think maybe a referee stoppage in the middle of the fight, like the Aaron fight. I do think possibly he could stop him on cuts, maybe in between rounds or maybe, during a round, who knows? But at the end of the day, I just don't see how Shakur Stevenson can lose this fight unless he just comes in with the mentality like, hey, this is going to be a dog fight, or he comes into the fight just kind of trying to prove a point. Shakur Stevenson is one of those guys, man. I really think that he's going to be, within the next year or so, he's going to be on the top of that pound for pound list for a long time. I mean, he has all the tools, all the intangibles. He's a disciplined kid. I don't want to say kid. He's a disciplined man, and I just think that he got everything that it takes, right? Yeah, like I said, man, this and beyond the fight, man, I truly believe, man. I heard one of my comrades say that we're in the golden age of boxing, and I truly believe that. Just this first half of 2022, we're getting some amazing fights. Undisputed, a bunch of unified champions. You can't go wrong, man. You hard pressed to find any of the recent years to be as good as just the first half of 2022. So yeah, we may not get one or two of the fights that we're looking for, but I do think, between, Top Rank, right? Between PBC, between DAZN, between all of these networks that are putting on boxing shows, man, I really think that this is a golden era to be a part of boxing. We in some of the best years, and I think that a lot of people are missing out. A lot of people aren't gonna realize what we got going on until 2, 3, 4, 5 years when we're not getting these fights like this, and then they'll jump back to say, you know what, man, 2022 was a great year. Man, 2021 was a great year. So I'm truly a fan of giving flowers when they're due. So I will say to the world of boxing, to the matchmakers, to the companies, to the promoters, to the fighters, I truly appreciate what you guys are doing for the sport. Let's keep it going, man. You know, like I said, that was my quick prediction. Not quick prediction, but that was my prediction for Oscar Valdez, Shakur Stevenson. Like I said, I got Shakur in 10. And, you know, it is what it is, man. Well, hey, it's the young boy time to shine. And we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Either way, like, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Hey, it's A-Side Boxing, man. Peace.